A 25 anni dalla 25esima Olimpiade, il Real Polo Club de Barcelona si presenta in tutto il suo splendore in occasione di una nuova edizione della finale mondiale del prestigioso circuito di FI Nations Cup.
The development of the Nations Cup hasn't only taken part within the past couple of years. The first competition was held in 1909, and the Nations Cup competition came under the supervision of the FEI in 1930. And then in the 1940s, we saw an introduction of a number of trophies for the Nations Cup, which started with the trophy called the Queen's Cup. Then there was the President's Trophy, which was Queen Elizabeth on horseback. Then that was followed by a trophy presented to the FEI by Prince Philip. And then after that, we had the first sponsorship of the Nations Cup series. That was in 1978. And since then, we've had 6 sponsors of the Nations Cup. So the development of the Nations Cup has actually gone on since its introduction in 1909. It's not something that's just happened recently. And the Nations Cup competition itself is, of course, as far as the FEI is concerned, not only the FEI, all national federations and also athletes, very, very close to their hearts and very important event, series and competition. It is the intention of the FEI to make this series a World Series. And that actually started a number of years ago. We have now a wonderful final, which we've had here in Barcelona for a number of years, where we qualify teams from regions all over the world to come and participate here. We can have a maximum of 19 teams, and representing Africa, Asia, South America, Central America, North America, and of course Europe and other areas of the world as well. We're very fortunate to have actually Longines on board as a sponsor of the Nations Cup for a long-term partnership, and we're very much looking forward to that. We're very, very excited about it. The structure for the series for next year is currently being discussed by the FEI Jumping Committee. They have a meeting here in Barcelona on Monday, Tuesday, and then they will decide exactly on the rules for next year.
Una lunga stagione quella di Nations Cup, che ha portato ancora una volta qui a Barcellona i migliori team al mondo, ma sentiamo com'è andata.
Hombre, es un año importante para nosotros porque al final fue un punto de inflexión. La Olimpiada transformó el club entero y lo que tenemos ahora es consecuencia de los Juegos, ¿no? Entonces la verdad que es un año importante para nosotros, no solo por eso, sino por el 120 aniversario del club que coincide y que se está celebrando este año. Bueno, es una final con los 18 mejores países del mundo. En este momento ha habido algún país que ha caído por lejanía y por proximidad. Al final la temporada es muy larga y hay países que les cuesta tener un equipo para todas las competiciones, pues tenemos 15 países, la verdad que los mejores del mundo, y con un nivel de jinetes del ranking muy importante.
Atto risolutivo dell'evento a squadre di riferimento nel calendario equestre internazionale, la finale di Barcellona ha aperto il sipario con la prima prova, il cui esito ha scandito a chiare lettere il nome degli 8 team qualificati di diritto per la finalissima, tutti in egual misura candidati al titolo di campione.
Final this year. We've got down to the final 8 today. We've lost the European champions, Ireland. They went out because of their time, equal scores with 3 other countries, but their times put them out. So we lost them, but having seen yesterday, they finished second, but not sparkling like they were in Gothenburg. Horses perhaps a little tired, and we have seen a few of the teams now. Italy we lost also. They were one of the strong teams all season on the Longines Nations Cup League, and they were already out there, not in the final. And then we look and we have the Canadians and we have the Americans, who obviously didn't go to the Europeans, and they've come here unbelievably strong. The American team looks very, very safe. 4 gold medal winners on that team from the Olympics. McLean Ward's mare has been geared towards this. The team chef to keep, Robert Ridland, he got commitment from all of them very early in the year for this. So the Americans looking strong, and the Canadians exactly the same. The Canadians perhaps with horsepower slightly underneath the Americans, but certainly from their team spirit and the willpower, they will be one of those hot nations to watch tonight. And then we have the others. We have the Swedes, who are really on a high, having gained a silver medal in their own country. The French have come back very strongly. They had disappointing Europeans, and they've really put themselves back on the mark after the jumping on Thursday. So I think there's a lot to play for tonight, and it will really depend what kind of course we're going to get out there, what in the end how it shakes up. We have a lot of different competitions in our sport now. There's a lot of different leagues going on. There's a lot of different types of competition going on. We have the Longines Nations Cup League. We have the Global League sponsored by Longines. We have the Grand Slam. We have other competitions. Then we have Steph Masters. I mean, there are so many 5-star venues throughout the year that really ask a lot and commit the riders and their horses. Obviously, these riders and horses, they have different places where they have to go for different reasons, and then it does affect the nation's result, because obviously if your horse and rider have been competing all season at a lot of 5-star competitions, they may be tired when they come here. I mean, Eduardo Menezes told me yesterday, he says, Quintal's tired. You know, he came here to support his team. They felt they had a good team. They had a super win in San Marino. They actually came here, I wouldn't say as one of the favourites, but they certainly came here as one of those teams which had the stamp on it final Saturday night. And they were out. They lost out. And you know, this is something to do with how much they've perhaps had to do before. And this is what the modern sport is bringing. The modern sport is bringing very dynamic competition, fast competition, and it's really bringing the necessity for the riders. And there's many young riders making the sport these days, and these young riders have to make their experience also. You cannot dance at any party. At every party, you know, it's just not possible. You have to pick and choose where you want your horse to peak, and you have to build to this, and you have to save your horse. And then of course it's up to the chef de keeps to have the trust of the riders to say, hey guys, why don't we aim for Barcelona like the Americans have done, like the Canadians have done. Let's make it a big goal this year, motivate their riders, check what the horses are doing, have maybe like they have some of the professional riders like Laura Kraut, have a second horse up the sleeve, so if one horse is not in form, hey, I'm going to bring Kung Fu now, and he can take up the challenge. So there's an awful lot of factors that play into what we actually see tonight in this final.
It's a big course, of course. We are here in the final of the Nations Cup, and it starts with the Oxer away from the gate. 8 strides, what I see, to a very high vertical, direct. Shouldn't be a big problem. Then you turn away, come direction to the in-gate of Oxer. I prefer 7 shots to the water, open water. And then we have a bending line over to the right, to the double of verticals, what we're seeing here. There is an option if you do very, very short 7 in there, or you have to go a little bit on the inside way and take the risk on coming forward on 6. And then the course goes on to a single Oxer without distance, and then very deep in the turn, out of the corner, a high wall, and then you have to decide if you go with your horse on 5 long to a blue Oxer, or you have to make the wall very short and do 6. I think that most of them are going to do the 5. And then it continues straight line to a plank, black plank, long 4, or very much back on the 5. Okay, depends on how you make the first part in this line. If you do 5, I think the 4 should come okay. And then you have a little bit of a break in the course where you can just canter a little bit nicely to a single Oxer again, a tall, wide Oxer, but single. And then you go for the final line in front of the tribune with a tall vertical again, with water all the way in the front. and a bit of a holding 7 into the 3 combination. All in the Longines colors, all the fences from them, oxer in, 1 stride vertical, 1 stride out, a little bit forward out, and then we have a finish of I see a short 6 to a quite big oxer again, a wide oxer, and there of course the power of the horses are a little bit used and they need to be ready so that they can reach the length of this oxer.
Svizzera, Belgio, Svezia, Olanda, Stati Uniti, Francia, Germania e Canada. Queste le equipe pronte a dare vita all'impegnativo percorso disegnato ad hoc da Santiago Varela, direttore di campo spagnolo. In ordine inverso alla classifica di qualifica, uno alla volta i rappresentanti di ciascun team si sono dati battaglia ribaltando ogni pronostico. Canada e Francia sono state le prime 2 grandi a crollare, seguite a ruota da Germania, Svizzera e Svezia. Il Belgio, partito in sordina, è riuscito ad attuare una rimonta che l'ha portato a risalire fino alla 3ª piazza d'onore, grazie agli ottimi percorsi chiusi a 0 penalità dei suoi ultimi 2 rappresentanti, nell'ordine Jérôme Guéry e Grégory Vatelet. Gli Stati Uniti, a parità di penalità con il Belgio, sono riusciti a fare la differenza grazie alla somma dei tempi impiegati. 1 secondo e 15 centesimi che ha regalato agli americani la 2ª posizione nella classifica finale. La differenza invece è stata ancora una volta la nazionale olandese, una squadra, una garanzia. Jur Vrieling, Michel Hendricks, Marco Zager e Harris Molders, guidati dal loro superlativo chef d'équipe Rob Ahrens, hanno compiuto l'impresa. La splendida Olanda riconquista il titolo di campione e si conferma nazione regina del mondo.
Made it a certain victory for the Dutch in the Longines FEI Nations Cup final.
I don't think I can do another season like this. My horses Don and Emerald, they are outstanding this year. And I'm really pleased that we can add this title again back to the Dutch. It's very close if you see the top of the world, like they all here. Even with 8 points, like Ireland, European champions are not in for tonight. I mean, the top is so close, and today again, with only 1 round, nothing can go wrong, and I'm very happy that we could take the victory again. We know that normally always it comes to the last riders of the team. And the chef d'équipe put me in that position because my horse Don is so consistent this year. So I had a lot of confidence he could do it, but it still needs to happen. And I'm very pleased also for the team and for the other boys. They rode fantastic, and everybody was sharp today, and the horses jumped great. So I think we deserve this title. I think also it's on our chef d'équipe. He always can bring us in the right spirit. Also after a disappointment like we had the Europeans, the team, but then he always looked forward in a positive way, and that inspired us very well. I thought it was quite big. The course was also built into the corners, out of the corners, so it was technical. It was a tough course, time really short, and it was not easy to go clear, but with the top horses and the top riders, you see we have a very high level at the moment.